Let's begin. Number 10, geocentrism. For centuries, it was believed that Earth was the center of the universe. This theory by Claudius Ptolemy was backed by the church and ancient astronomers for centuries. It placed Earth at the center with the sun, moon, stars, and planets orbiting it. Then guys like Copernicus and Galileo came along and said, actually, it's the sun in the middle. Copernicus, who proposed that the sun, not Earth, was at the center, and Galileo, who actually looked through a telescope and saw evidence that contradicted the old system. Galileo's support for heliocentrism caused serious tension with the church, which wasn't too keen on changing its worldview. He was famously put on trial and forced to recant his views, but the evidence kept mounting. Eventually, Kepler's laws and Newton's gravitational theory sealed the deal. Earth is just one of many planets orbiting the sun. Number 9, spontaneous generation. For a long time, people believed life just kind of appeared out of nowhere. They thought things like rats came from old rags. Nobody had microscopes yet, so no one saw baby rats being born. Leave some meat out. Flies would spawn on it. Dirty laundry in the corner? Expect mice. People believed this because, well, it looked like it worked. To them, spontaneous generation made sense. The world seemed full of magical processes. Life appeared from filth, so maybe filth was the source of life. This idea wasn't fringe. It was widely accepted, even by major thinkers. That is, until science came knocking. In the 1600s, Francesco Redi showed that maggots only appeared when flies could access the meat. But belief in the theory persisted. Then Louis Pasteur in the 19th century delivered the knockout punch with his swan neck flask experiments, proving that microorganisms only arise from other microorganisms. No air, no microbes. That discovery helped launch germ theory and completely transform medicine. Good job, Louis. Number 8, phlogiston theory. In the 18th and 17th centuries, scientists believed that a fire-like element called phlogiston existed in all combustible materials. Burn something, and it released phlogiston. They even said fire stopped when an object ran out of it. It sounded logical at the time. Kind of. But then they noticed something weird. Metals gained weight when burned. That doesn't make sense if something's being lost. 1700s French chemist Antoine Lavoisier then said, hold up, it's actually oxygen that's doing the burning. He conducted experiments that showed it wasn't phlogiston leaving, it was oxygen combining. Combustion was a chemical reaction, not a mystical substance leaking out. Number 7, luminiferous ether. Back when people figured out that light travels in waves, they wondered, waves? Waves in what? They assumed, naturally, that it must travel through something. Waves need a medium, right? Sound has air. Water waves have water. So light must travel through something. They discovered something called the luminiferous ether, basically a magical space jelly that carried light. It had no weight, couldn't be seen or touched. But hey, it was convenient. But in 1887, a big science experiment called the Michelson-Morley experiment told us, yeah, that jelly doesn't exist. These guys built a super precise instrument to detect Earth's movement through the ether. And what did they find? Nothing. No difference in light speed in any direction. The experiment was a failure, in the best way. And then Einstein later confirmed, light doesn't need a medium. It just travels through space. Number 6, miasma theory. Before germ theory, some people thought disease came from bad air. Not just bad gas, but a toxic, invisible fog called miasma. If the air looked thick or smelled rotten, people thought it could make you sick. This idea went all the way back to ancient Greece and stuck around for thousands of years. Plagues, cholera, tuberculosis, all blame on miasma. Cities back then were full of open sewers, no pipe systems until a long time later, and so yeah, the air was awful. Those plague doctors who wore those creepy beaked masks, they filled the mask with herbs to protect themselves from miasma. They thought they were filtering out death itself. Number 5, caloric theory. The caloric theory proposed that heat was a fluid called caloric that flowed from hotter to colder bodies. Indeed, scientists believed heat was a substance. No one had a better explanation at the time, so this idea stuck for a while. Then Count Rumford noticed that you could keep generating heat endlessly just by drilling metal. That didn't fit the caloric idea. If heat was a substance, it should be used up. But it wasn't, which doesn't really make sense if you're draining a liquid. And so the experiments by Count Rumford and James Joule picked up the thread and showed that heat is a form of energy transfer due to particle motion, leading to the development of thermodynamics. Number 4, flat Earth theory. People used to really believe the Earth was flat, but the theory of it being round before it was objectively proven, ancient Greeks figured out it was round using shadows and ships disappearing over the horizon. The age of exploration and advances in navigation further confirmed Earth's roundness. Explorers like Ferdinand Magellan completed circumnavigations, providing practical evidence that Earth is not flat. With the advent of modern astronomy, satellite imagery, and space travel in the 20th century, the spherical nature of Earth became indisputable. Number 3, steady state theory. This cosmological theory says the universe had no beginning or end and looked the same in all directions at all times. But it isn't. According to the steady state model, as the universe expanded, new matter was continuously created to maintain a constant density. Initially, the theory was popular because it avoided a creation event and fit some observational data. In 1965, astronomers Arno Penzias and Robert Wilson discovered the cosmic microwave background radiation, faint thermal radiation believed to be the afterglow of the Big Bang. This discovery provided strong evidence for a universe with a beginning and dealt a major blow to Fred Hoyle, Thomas Gold, Herman Bondi, and their theory. The steady-state model couldn't explain it. The Big Bang could. As more evidence piled up, the steady-state theory faded into the background. An elegant idea, but one that didn't match reality. Number 2, humoral theory. Ancient doctors believed your body had 4 fluids, called humors, originating with ancient Greek physicians like Hippocrates and later expanded by Galen. Each humor was associated with different traits and elements. For instance, too much black bile was thought to cause depression, melancholy, while too much blood might make someone overly energetic or passionate. Feeling depressed? Too much black bile. Feverish and angry? Too much yellow bile. Treatments included bloodletting, purging, special diets, and herbal remedies. This theory influenced not just medicine, but philosophy, psychology, and even personality theory for centuries, especially by our man René Descartes. It was finally replaced by more scientific approaches as advances in anatomy, pathology, and microbiology showed that disease was caused by identifiable physical agents, not fluid imbalances. Number 1, Newtonian physics. Isaac Newton's laws of motion and gravity, developed in the late 1600s, revolutionized science by providing a comprehensive framework for understanding the physical world. His equations could predict everything from the trajectory of cannonballs to the orbits of planets with remarkable precision. For over 200 years, Newtonian physics was regarded as the complete and final word on how the universe operated. Meanwhile, at the tiny scale, quantum mechanics revealed a weird, probabilistic world that Newton's equations couldn't touch. Particles could be waves. Positions could be uncertain. So now we understand that Newtonian physics is a special case, incredibly useful for everyday things, but incomplete at the extremes of speed, size, and gravity. Newton wasn't wrong. He just wasn't the end of the story. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be making more videos like this. Subscribe, like, share, and stay tuned.